So, I mean, I had kind of like a normal, I guess, like middle class life from a young age, like high level athlete. So that was like my life, always swimming, always going to the pool. But my parents and I, we always had a kind of a tough relationship. So, I would start like skipping swim practices, like skipping school, like sneaking out, all this different stuff.
I went to North Carolina State that summer after I graduated on a swim scholarship. And once I got there, I couldn't wait to figure out who I was, figure out what I like who am I outside of swimming. So from there, I felt I was just free. I didn't care about swimming. I just wanted to go do whatever I want. I was really into partying, skipping practices, drugs, alcohol, men.
It was like it was a summer school. And so it was like the end of summer school. There was these football players, and they told me and these other girls, like, oh, we'll just, we'll go to a party, but we'll pregame first, like, come over. So they got in like weed and alcohol, and they had like drugged one of the drinks. But once that kind of started like getting in your system, it was like, it's just like a weird, like, you're not really with it.
They separated us into different rooms, and sorry, this is hard for me to talk about. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me rewind. So they separated us into different rooms. They took my clothes off, threw me on the floor, grabbed me by my hair, and from there it just was 2 hours of people coming in and out and gang raping me. At that moment, like, I couldn't believe it was happening to me. It just was horrific. Sorry. Okay. So the next day, I went and got a rape kit done. They had all the evidence from the rape kit, but the DA said they couldn't continue with the case because they didn't have enough evidence proving that I didn't want the sexual acts being done to me.
That was like a very like a tipping point for me mentally. I'd never had like panic attacks, and then after that I started having panic attacks. I was always very bothered because it was like I didn't know how many guys had like been involved that night. They started like, okay, like might be like 10, 12, and so that was like a lot for me. So they like pulled me out of that school because I'm like, I can't go there. Texas A&M eventually picked me up to swim. And it was always very hard because I was always kind of like in the public spotlight in the athlete world. So all the athletes knew. It was like the end of the semester, it was like rolling into summer. There was this guy that had been like texting me, and I was like, oh, he's so nice.
And when I went to his apartment, we were just kind of hanging out, and he took my clothes off. He was very forceful, just on top of me, football player, strong. I just kept saying no, and then eventually I just shut down. It's like I mentally left my body. He held me down and he raped me, and I can remember going back to my apartment and feeling disgusting, just like I wanted to jump out of my skin, and I just felt horrible.
I had gone into it, and I'm like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna end it. Like, I'm just gonna take as many pills as I can, drink as much alcohol. I just want to go to sleep and never wake up. My roommates found me the next day, and they took me to the hospital. I eventually came to, and I left, got out of there.
Same thing, it really ramped up with just drugs, alcohol, men. And I can remember sitting in the bathroom. I was high, and I had this moment, and I realized I don't have to live this way anymore. I need to get help. So I reached out to my parents, and they were able to get me into a rehab. After 3 weeks, since my period was always irregular, I never thought anything of it, but I had mentioned it to one of the girls in the house who got me a pregnancy test. They brought me into the office. They sat me down and said, okay, your pregnancy test came back positive, and I know this is not what you want to hear at 19 years old, but we can take you to the clinic down the street and get it taken care of.
That really hurt. I was like, I'm keeping this baby, like I'm turning my life around. I like stopped smoking that day. I was like, I'm turning my life around. And they introduced me to Embrace Grace. I was like, you know what, I'll just give it a chance. And I walked in because I was so nervous because it was in a church. I'm like, oh, church people are not gonna like me. And I walked in, I'm like, oh my goodness, wait, there's like 10 other pregnant girls and we're all the same age. And it was so welcoming and they were so excited to see me. It was so fun. It felt like, okay, it's a safe place to go back, you know? Anytime I brought something up that was hard for me, it was always like brought back with like love, and it didn't change the way they saw me. Just to have that group of people that really cared about me and saw me as I was. It was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, it's just that unconditional love. The baby shower, it was so fun. Like the day before, they took me to get my toes done. I didn't have anyone to like invite to the shower, so it was just my mom and I. This woman from the church came and they were so excited to like see me and brought me presents, set up everything. It was like, okay, I don't even know you, but you're so excited to see me. It was so like that. Oh, that was like the sweetest thing ever. Sorry.
Without Embrace Grace, my life would be a total mess, honestly. I have found a community of people that love me and support me. I found lifelong friends. I'm just beyond grateful.
God is so good. Let me tell you, I always talk to people like, God is really amazing. Let me tell you why. I love being a mom. Like, it is the most rewarding thing ever. It just baffles me. I'm like, I can't believe these people were telling me that my life is over, and he's so sweet. And it's the best thing ever. Like, I would not trade it for the world. I would not go back and change anything.
I'm just so grateful that I'm able to love on him and walk through life with him. He's my best friend.